Today, I'm going to be showing you how to do your own funding with your personal credit without giving 10 to 15% away to the so-called guru. There are 6 lenders professionals use and charge between 10 to 15% just for filling out their application. All 6 of these lenders do soft pulls that don't impact your credit. I'm not only going to give you these lenders, but I'm also going to tell you how to qualify for these lenders. If you stay to the end, I'm also going to tell you what credit bureau each lender pulls from. Now, in order to receive the maximum funding from these lenders, it's very important you have to go through this checklist. Now, on this checklist, this is how I've been getting clients up to $300,000 with just their personal credit. Now, I'm going to also debunk a lot of things in this video on the things you need as far as authorized users or primary trade lines. We're going to go through all that so now you can feel comfortable and know how to evaluate your credit profile to know if you're even eligible for these 6 lenders. Now, the first thing you're going to need or make sure you have on your credit report, you need 10 active primary accounts. Now, I also provide a video on what 10 accounts and how to sequence it to meet this account threshold to be eligible for additional lenders. The second thing you're going to want to have is an active checkings and savings account with a debit card, no prepaid accounts. Now, if you have an active bank account, but then you also have prepaid accounts, it's fine. Now, the reason why you want to have an active checkings and savings account, because if you approve, you want that money to come ASAP. And they also use this as another way of verifying that it is, in fact, you applying for these funds. Because remember, well, we haven't got into it yet, but these companies, these 6 lenders are giving out $20,000, $50,000, $70,000, up to these amounts, even $100,000. Some people have got from some of these lenders I'm going to give you today. Now, the next thing it's important to know is you can't have over 3 inquiries on your credit report or the bureau that we're specifying once we get down to that area. You can't have over 3 inquiries, or you can have a perfectly built profile, but end up getting a denial because now they're telling you you have too many inquiries in the last few months. The next thing, you don't want to have no derogatory accounts. That's very important. Why would they give you 20, 50, $60,000 and you have derogatory accounts on your credit profile? Now, the next one, a lot of people take for granted, and I'm going to also give you a gem with this one as well. You must have an employer listed and posted on your credit profile. This prevents additional verifications. It isn't needed, but it prevents, you having to scramble to get bank statements or pay stubs. Sometimes now, some of these lenders, they do ask for pay stubs or bank statements. And so I don't want to kind of mislead you on that. Sometimes they do ask for it, but if you applying and all this information match what's on your credit profile, you have a better chance of getting approval without them asking for additional documents. Now, to get back to the employer information, it is very important that you have this on there. And one of the ways you can add your employer without paying someone to do this is if you go over and Google search Equifax employer report, then that will come up and you will be able to pull your report online right then and there to see what jobs has been listed on your workforce report. And so it's very important that you pull that report. It's harmless, it don't cost a thing, and you can do it and receive it the same day. Now, it's very important. These 10 active primaries, they have to have an average age between 7 to 10 years. You can't just have brand new active primaries and expecting to receive a large amount of fundings. Even though you may receive some type of funding, it won't be the funding you thought you were going to get. And so just making sure that the age on these accounts average out to between 7 to 10 years. Now, I want to give you guys a hack. Now, let's say you do put 10 brand new primary trade lines on your credit profile. That's fine. This is where now you want to go utilize the authorized user trade lines. And a good site to use, I will give you this site at the end. If you stick to the end, I'm actually going to give you the authorized user website that most or all credit repair gurus use. And so typically when you're going to get an authorized user trade line, they're adding between $50 to $150 onto that trade line. And when you can just go directly to the source. The next thing it's important to know, you must have your credit card utilization below 30% if you think you're going to get funded. Now, they do, some of these lenders that I'm going to show you, they do offer you consolidation, but if you want to get that big consolidation funding, you want to make sure your credit card utilization is below 30%. Now, another thing you want to make sure is you have 100% payment history. So if you have any late payments, it can impact your approval dramatically with just one late payment. Oh, and you can have 20, 30 active positive accounts. That one late payment can impact the ability to receive upwards of 50 to $70,000 in funding. Now, another thing you want to go ahead and make sure that it's clean, because one of these lenders, they'll let you know, we check additional things besides your credit report. And those additional things is pretty much your banking history. They they are gonna pretty much inquire to ChexSystems, early warnings, and sometimes now you've seen this new bureau pop up called TeleCheck. And so you're going to want to make sure all three of these reports are clean. Now, ChexSystem do allow you to pull this report online, as well as early warnings if you're able to answer the security question and provide the information that match their information. And so that's very important. And so lastly, you want to make sure you got at least a 720 credit score. If you have at least a 720 credit score and you have all the things I mentioned, then you're going to able to be successful. Now, I'm going to give you pretty much the authorized user website most gurus use or most people gatekeep. And if, like I said, if you have 10 active primaries that don't meet the 7 to 10 year age requirement, then you're going to go ahead and use Tradeline Genie. Yes, this is a legit company, a verified company. I have used them personally, or you can come to me and I have 10 trade lines valued over $100,000 between 5 to 12 years that I can add as an authorized user. And I only charge one set price and I don't a la carte it. And so if that's something you want to do, that is an option. Now, what I want to do, I want to take a break and also show you something else that can be useful if you need help funding yourself or need help adding primaries or authorized users or just trade line or age in general, what I want to do, I want to go ahead and show you my classroom. And I want to show you a specific tab that might be useful and help you during this process that I don't gatekeep at all. Now, if you're looking at this, let's go ahead and make me bigger because I want you to really see me and see in the classroom and understand I do not gatekeep at all, not even a little bit. And so when you come to my classroom and you click on to how to add your own primaries, this is what you get. I give you full detailed history, the websites, where to go. And not only that, I I give you the documented proof. That's very important. I give you the documented proof on how I accomplish this, and give you the documents filled out that I use. I redact them a little bit, but some things like the personal information, things like that. Now, the another thing a lot of people struggle with or they don't know, I also provide a live teaching, but mainly I provide you a cheat sheet. This is very, 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 very important. This cheat sheet is basically pretty much the verification process you're gonna have to go through when they call you to verify your primary trade lines. Now, I also want to backtrack and comment on something else a lot of people gatekeep. If you want to add your own primaries from your own accounts and you want to do it expeditiously without like headache and just pretty much want to upload your documents, sign up for eCredible, sign up just for the $9 plan. And literally, if they don't have your company selected or you don't no longer have a login portal, you can literally submit a ticket, upload your statement or document, and they'll add it to your credit report. Now, hey, you if you following me, you're gonna win. If you subscribe to my channel, I'm dropping game that simply no one else is going to give you. No one else has broke it down to you like that. And if you go into school and watch the video, I show you how to sequence it and I show you pretty much the do's and don'ts. Now, let's get back into pretty much these lenders and what six lenders, some credit repair professionals are using to fund you. Now, I also want to show you something that it'll help you be independent and stop relying and taking people's word. Don't even take my word. And so in most of my videos or all my videos, I show proof. And the first lender most of you may have heard of, and once you go pay a guru or agree to give that guru between 10 to 15%, they're going to come over to SoFi. Now, I want to show you something about SoFi, and I'm going to break it down and give you the details about SoFi. But before I do that, I want to show you guys something. If you ever have a question when you're trying to get funding or lending with any institution, I want to show you something. I want you to go click a tab where it says help me. Sometimes it's under about. And in this case, it's under resources. Now, what am I referencing? I'm talking about how to be eligible, to receive up to $100,000 with SoFi. It's simple. Go to resources, click on eligibility criteria, stroll down to pretty much the tab that best fits you. And so in this case, we want to stroll down to personal loan eligibility. And it simply breaks down how to become eligible um, for SoFi. Also, I want to mention that SoFi has the highest loan amount you can receive out of the 6 lenders I'm going to be giving you today. Um, and so I just took notes so I can be accurate in feeding you guys this information. So if you see me looking down, that's all I'm doing. And so as I told you, SoFi um in loans. And so offer highly qualified borrowers. So this means that most likely you have to have a high credit score, like that 720 we talked about earlier as far as eligibility. Now, they do have a strong preference for applicants with solid income and credit. So what that means, you most likely want to be making upwards between $80,000 or at least have an income coming in your account $2,500 a month or more to become eligible or to receive SoFi. Now, the next company, you can receive up to $75,000 with this company. And this company is Upstart. They considers additional data beyond traditional credit scores. So remember when I spoke earlier, they may use a third party bureau. They may check your ChexSystems, your early warnings. They may take a peek at one of those bureaus. So you just want to make sure that now, if you're going to apply for Upstart, definitely those ChexSystems, early warning, or third party bureaus are clean. And when I say third party bureaus, most of the time, if you do credit repair, sometimes your guru will only repair the 3 bureaus. And so it is still prevents you from getting funding, certainly with companies like TransUnion. So you just want to make sure those third party bureaus are clean, as well as your ChexSystems, early warning, and now TeleCheck. They may approve some borrowers with limited credit histories if other aspects of your credit profiles are strong. And so, what do you mean by that? So, if you have 20 accounts, but you don't meet the 7 to 12 year age limit, they may still give you a high amount of funding just because other aspects, as in you pretty much surpass the amount of accounts you needed. And so as I said, they give up a max loan of $75,000. So this is one of the lenders that's been pretty much viral. You've been seeing a lot of credit repair companies showing their clients getting $75,000. It's most likely it's Upstart. The next company, they kind of changed their name. They go by Hack and Bank, but they're formerly known as LendingClub, and they're giving you up to $60,000. Now, if you do have debt, and as I told you, if you below that 30% utilization, they do debt consolidation. So they actually welcome you having debt as long as you chop up the payment and as long as you met the other requirements we spoke about earlier in the video. Now, what's very important to know about Lending Club, they do a peer-to-peer lending model with standard underwriting. And so what does that mean? Pretty much it's pretty much a cut and dry process. They don't beat you up too much with verification if you're applying and that information is matching what's on the credit report. The next company is Upgrade. They're giving you up to $50,000 in funding. And boy, do they send that check quick. That's why I told you need a checkings and savings accounts. Once you approve fast funding, they send you that money out within 72 hours, no gimmick. They getting the bread to you. And they're generally geared towards borrowers with established credit. And so this is a company that you pretty much want to make sure you meet that 7 to 12 year age and as well as that 10 account threshold. And then of course having that 720. Next is Best Egg. Best Egg is also giving you up to $50,000 in funding. They also have a fast funding approval for borrowers. And so that is also a really, really good thing. You apply, you get approved with them, they're shooting their bread out to you as long as you meet the threshold and that information match. They're not too much beating you up as far as verification documents. If your employer is on your credit profile and everything matches, they're gonna give you the bread. Now, finally, before I move on, I also want to say if you stay to the end, I'm also going to give you information for all you self-employed people out there on how to accomplish or successfully receive funding with your personal credit if you're self-employed. Now, let's go ahead and get back into it. Lastly, is achieve. They're giving you up to $50,000. Sorry. They're giving you up to $50,000 in funding, as well as they are a company you would want to go to if you wanted to consolidate your debt, as long as you met the thresholds we talked about earlier in the video. And one thing that's good about Achieve, they have fixed rate installment loans. So you don't have to worry about your rates going up. And so now let's get into business tax returns and profit loss statements for self-employed applicants. Some applicants are approved with minimum documentation, while others are asked to provide extensive verification. Now, this is pretty much depending on the lender. And so you want to make sure, if you're going to be self-employed, one, your company it has solid directories. And if you go over in my school, I provide you how to get 700 directories for only 50 or $30. And so I don't gatekeep any of these processes if you're serious about scaling or changing your financial situation. Now, I want to give you guys a bonus if you stuck around this long. If you guys want to get into the big credit card funding or the credit union fundings, you see a lot of credit repair gurus posting on social media. It's simple. Go over to ibank.net and you'll be able to fund yourself based on the state you live in. And it's super easy. The banks at the top are the banks that are giving out the most money and pretty much the most lending. And so these are the banks you're going to want to go set up an account with, or credit unions you're going to want to go set up an account with to go ahead and get that funding. And so, as I promised, let's go through what lender pulls from who. Now, as far as SoFi, they pull exclusively from Experian. So if you have a high Experian credit score and you meet the threshold we spoke about, go ahead and freeze your Equifax and Experian. And I'm about to give you a gem most gurus will never tell you. So they tell you how to run play and freeze the bureaus. But what they don't tell you is you need to be waiting 24 to 48 hours. So if the lender is also checking a third party monitoring site that they are directly connected with, they're updated. And so they're not getting those reports. And so this is what some people believe about. You need to wait 24 hours or longer before you run the play after freezing the bureaus. Don't go ahead and freeze it and then run the play and then be mad on why you didn't get approved and think that my information is inaccurate. Now, so SoFi pulls from Experian. Next, Upstart. Upstart in TransUnion. And then simply also report to all three bureaus as well as SoFi. My apologies for leaving that out. And so they do a hard pull from all three bureaus, Upstart. So if you want to receive funding from them, you need to be making sure all three bureaus are on point. Next, upgrade pulls from Experian, most common. And so sometimes pull from TransUnion. So both of them fine. Just freeze the Equifax and then go ahead and run the play. But if your Experian is the highest and you got some challenge credit over there on your TransUnion, go ahead and freeze it and run the play with upgrade. And they also report to all three bureaus. And remember, all these lenders do a soft pull. So you can go ahead and apply and check out your numbers for all the lenders that I mentioned in this video and see what you qualify and and see what offers you want to accept, or if you want to accept all the offers. So that's upgrade. Next is Best Egg. Best Egg, most common pull from Experian. If you leave the other two open, sometimes they'll pull if you got challenge credit on Experian and they need to reference more information or more data to make a decision. And they also report to all three credit bureaus as well. Next is Achieve. Achieve most commonly pulls from Experian as well. But as I just mentioned, with Best Egg, if you're going to leave your TransUnion and Equifax on, they might peak if the information is not adding up. Say, like, if you don't have the employer over there, they're going to go pull from Equifax. So just make sure if you don't want them to see it, just freeze it. Also, they also pull from all three credit bureaus. Now, finally, we have LendingClub, which is now Happen Bank. They most commonly pull from TransUnion and sometimes Experian. The same rules apply. And then they also report to all three credit bureaus. Now, YouTube, if you have liked the game I dropped today, go ahead, like this video, or comment how much funding you have received from one of these lenders. Make sure you be subscribing to the channel. Make sure you turn your notifications on so when I drop this no gatekeeping financial information, you stay up to date and not paying an arm and a leg. I'm not setting up subscriptions on this channel. I'm giving you this information, no gatekeeping. And if you want a more in-depth look, then that's when you need to go ahead and get in the school group and go ahead and check out all the tabs. I show you how to fix your credit. I show you how to find any CEO if you're going into litigation. I give you access to $100,000 in authorized user trade lines. Show you how to add your own trade lines. Let me show you one a lot of people misconstrue as well. I give you the whole CFPB complaint, the templates. Show you where to get the information from. Show you the proof. Show you the like, come on now. Come on now. But I literally give you everything you need. This is a starter video. It's just I give you a bonus with the live recording. And so I give you everything you need in my school community to be successful. Once again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in with me and choosing me as your financial advisor. Also know this isn't legal information, but as you see, I do a well job as providing proof. Now, I'm gonna get into using the board here. Just gotta bear with me. I kind of got in this into my old ways with using the iPad, but we getting into it. I hope you like the new setup. We're going to be adding some things, getting the new camera in. And so once again, thank you for tapping in to Elite ACR YouTube channel, and I catch you on the next one.